Hello and welcome to the Cubbears Fan Report for April the 19th, 2025. This is my first Cubbears report of the season. I've been preoccupied. I wrote a book and I'm trying to get it produced as a screenplay and turn into a streaming television show, but it has nothing to do with sports. It's about vampires, so you may or may not be interested in that. But I've been busy trying to get that worked. And then the weather's been kind of warm lately, so we've been trying to run away from tornadoes in northern Mississippi. In fact, we went to the shelter one day, and then we came back to our trailer, and only to find out that a tornado hit just a few miles south of us, but we were able to not get hurt. But I thought that would have been hilarious if we'd have left the shelter for one tornado, only to be hit by another one when we got back home. But that's a long story, and I'll save you the details on that. Well, I had a friend when I used to play amateur baseball. I played adult amateur baseball out of Rogers Park in Chicago. And this guy, Paul, who was on my team, would say, it's a shame somebody had to win this game. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. The Cubs had a 7-1 lead going into the 8th inning and gave up 10 runs in the 8th inning, and I'm thinking, oh no, not again, because they blew a big lead when they were in Arizona. And it looks like they blew it again. They were losing 11-7 going into their half of the 8th, and then they hit 3 home runs in that inning. Carson Kelly hit one. That was the second of the day. Tucker hit one, and not Ian Happ, but Suzuki hit another one in that 8th inning. And by the time it was all said and done, they were taking a 13-11 lead into the 9th inning. Presley came on to close it, but he didn't get a save. He got a win instead. Because who could you give the win to in the 7th inning? Because they gave up all kinds of runs. You can't give up 10 runs and pick up a win. And somehow or another, they did. The Cubs found a way to win the game with their terrible bullpen, and that's how it went. They started Colin Ray, and he pitched really well, but he couldn't go 5 innings. He hasn't been stretched out to be a full-length starter, so he had to be pulled in the 4th inning, and they nursed a 2-1 lead through the rest of the game. And then Ian Happ hit a grand slam in the 7th, and the Cubs were sitting pretty at 7-1. They decided to let Wicks pitch. He was just off of rehab, and 3 pitches, seems like 3 hits. I mean, he just couldn't get anything by anybody. So we have to see. He was groomed to be a starter and got hurt last year. And with the injuries they have in the rotation, they're thinking maybe he'll pick up the slack when it's all said and done. But in the meantime, the Cubs are going to have to figure something out. But they cannot win. They got a great team. They've got 2 guys with 6 home runs now. Carson Kelly, who came out of nowhere. He was just signed to be a backup catcher and just give Amaya a few days rest. Now, I don't know. I have to double check. He may be leading the league in homers. He's tied for the team lead with Tucker, who turned out to be a really good trade, because I think they're both going to hit 40 home runs this year. And if they do, they better re-sign those guys and give those guys some good contracts. But I appreciate you watching the Cubbears Fan Report. Like I said, I'm a Cub fan and a Bears fan, and so I just deal with the Bears. The Bears, instead of saying the Bears, I say Cubbears. And the Bears also have news. They made some big moves in the offseason. They signed Ben Johnson as the coach, and he's an offensive mastermind. The question will be, can he be a head coach? He sounds like it. He sounds like he's decisive. They've filled some needs already on the offensive line. So now the question is, who are they going to draft next week on the 24th with the 10th overall pick? There's been a lot of speculation. Everybody first thought it was going to be a tackle, but now that they've solved some of those offensive line problems, they got a little more flexibility. Some are thinking it's going to be Ashton Genty, but he probably won't fall. Some are even thinking Tyler Warren at tight end, but we don't know if he's going to be available. And some people think the Bears might trade back and pick up a running back in the 2nd round, because they want to get going, but they are building the trenches through free agency and trades. So I like their chances. I'm sponsored by the Robin Hood Brewery still. I don't go there as much because it was kind of cold, and they're mostly outdoor. But with the warmer weather, they're going to be a regular stop for me. And I like microbrew beer, but they got all the regular beers if you don't want that. But this is the Cubbears Fan Report. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you don't agree with me. And I got some highlights for the Cub game also. So, Cubbears Fan Report. Thank you. Like and subscribe, please.